course. And speaking of the runners, today we have Liminality versus Space Cowboy 2011.
So, fun fact.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll wait. We are starting.
I want to hear this fun fact.
Small key to Thieves Town right away. I feel like we were talking about that in the IRC. That's one of the trollier keys.
It's like that. It's the Swamp Palace small key. I don't know. Every time you get an Agate Tower small key, you're like, no, please, why? Don't make me go there. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, fun fact, on Challenge, we have predictions going. You can predict who you think's going to win each match. And I checked it earlier for this match. And the runners were essentially tied. I think it was 53% to 47%.
Oh,
so
man.
Everybody out there, this match could go either way.
Hey, it's anyone's game at this point. And there's a hook shot.
Hook shot! That's a good item to have early.
Good for movement, and also good for a temporarily quote-unquote weapon, or at least stun item. Let's see what the stun drop is today. It's fairies.
Fairy. Small key to Gannon's tower. Maybe we should just rush GT.
Could not get very far. But yeah, for anyone just joining us who has not seen a Keysanity tournament or Keysanity race before, essentially all the dungeon items are now shuffled with the rest of the item pools, or with the rest of the item pools. So as you can see, there's small keys. We'll see big keys, compass, map, the works, out in the open or in chests as everything else. So nothing's particularly locked in their dungeons. Of course, like anything, we could still get vanilla items. So we could see a vanilla G Tower, big key, stuff like that. So, and it's made for some. It's a very interesting game mode to play because you have to play very differently than you would just like a normal one, but also to watch. It's like, all right, we have so many more options for items to be ridiculous or trolly. And already, speaking of trolly, these bombs that Space Cowboy's trying to farm, give them the business.
Not working out for him. Will Aga be required this seed? Oh, just a big 20.
So
who knows? But yeah, so all the keys are randomized, big keys are randomized, also maps and compasses, and there's a new feature for Keysanity where you cannot see if a dungeon is a pendant or a crystal unless you either get the map for that dungeon or go defeat the boss and acquire it. So maps do have a use in this mode.
Yeah, you'll see sometimes players will go a little bit out of the way just to find those maps. I remember the other day in my last Keysanity race, I finished off Trinex and got a pendant, and I was like, crap. That's unfortunate.
Don't want to be wasting time. A couple of heart containers up there in the woods. Not a bad find this early. The big key for Ice Palace. Probably one of the more useless big keys in this one, but it has its uses.
Yeah. If you can bomb jump, you don't need it, but if that big chest ends up having something, it's worth it.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting for Space Cowboy. Hopefully he finds some extra rupees here, or at least more bombs. Well, kind of, but not really.
It was close. It looked like a bomb.
A little bit. A golden one. Yeah, Kakariko can be a little unfortunate for routing if you... it looks like he's going to go take advantage of this little bombable hut down here that does hold 4 bombs. It's a little bit slower than if he had rupees, but... So Liminality will be able to just go ahead and buy bombs. Save a little bit of time.
To answer a question in chat, yes, the maps can still be in the dungeons. Maps and compasses can be literally everywhere, since they're never required. They're just useful to have sometimes.
Yeah, and much like our last tournament, the fall tournament, we're starting out with Swiss rounds. So all these first matchups are 100% randomized. So either it's like... So you never know, like the anticipation waiting to see who your first opponent was. So there's a good chance a lot are going to be relatively lopsided. But by next round, then it's going to start evening out with players that won their first match will race each other, and players that lost their first match will race each other, and so on and so forth.
I don't think we mentioned there are 208 players in this tournament. There's a lot of people racing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy amount. Silver's in the well.
It's a nice item to find.
Agreed. And the Power Glove. And the big key, Thieves Town. We got both the big key and the small key for Thieves Town early.
That's another thing about... Oh, hold on. We got small key to Turtle Rock. The other glove... Wow.
And one of the
That's
6 keys, the pod.
That is hilarious. I don't think I've ever seen that happen, where both players find the other glove.
Yeah.
2 power gloves? What?
Wow.
My mind is blown. And a very generous 300 rupees right there, so...
We can find out what the bottle vendor has in store. And Space gets his Titan mitts. Liminality will be getting his Titan's mitts.
Yeah, with any sort of randomizer, you got to start thinking about the long term. Like, all right, I got this item. What should my next play be? And already having the Thieves Town small key and big key, they have everything that they need to complete the majority of the dungeon when they get to it. So I can kind of anticipate Thieves being a first play once we get to the Dark World. And
I mean,
already having the mitts, we just need a Moon Pearl.
Exactly. We need Moon Pearl, and we need Hammer to get to that big chest in Thieves Town. That's it.
I could easily see a hammer in Big Chest, or not in Big Chest, but in Thieves Town. By the way this seed is going, but...
Very true. By the way, the bottle vendor, you give him 100, you get a single rupee back. What a ripoff.
Alright, so what is the next play going to be? We still don't really have any sort of weaponry to do like Hyrule Castle, nor do we have a lamp to check the sewer chest. There is the whole damn Mini Molten Cave, the South Shore route, and both these players are relatively close to having that Zora money, and Zora is on the table with them having gloves already, so...
Very true. I expect we'll see the South Shore Mini Molten Cave play, and then if the other runner finds the Moon Pearl, you may see some fake flippering over to Zora.
Space Cowboy skipping the
back of his skate
chest. Well, he skipped the sanctuary chest. He just walked right past it.
Didn't even notice that. I'm sure he'll realize it at some point.
I think he was just
a couple more times.
Yeah. All right, what do we got in the back of Escape? Anything of value tonight? A dead rat. That's one thing.
I totally missed what was at the race game. A map of Hyrule Castle, it doesn't get much more useless than that.
And a castle tower key. All right. Yeah, that's the worst, is the fact that like G Tower and Hyrule Castle, those maps are still in the game, and they are 100% useless. Because nobody uses the in-game map, because it's terrible. Have you seen that? The only time that comes up is when people have a misinput. It looks so bad, and it's so useless. Even as a kid, I was like, what am I looking at? I have no idea what this is. Blue? Dark blue? Shiny objects? I don't get it.
So, as expected, both players making their way down to the dam. I expect we'll find Moon Pearl soon. I'm feeling it. First, the map of Desert Palace. That has a bit of use.
Could it probably see a map check as soon as Space Cowboy leaves here? Maybe. Or maybe wait until you can actually get into Desert Palace and do it, to worry about that. And our first bottle. And a very convenient bottle, too, with the fairy inside.
You say convenient. Will it be convenient if they go to try and take an intentional death and forget?
Oh, that's always fun. Love when they do that. But yeah, we got a crystal at Desert Palace, so that is our first of 7. That's the other thing about Keysanity is, you need to get as much information as possible. So now, oftentimes, players will not only talk to Sahasrara to find out where the green pennant is, but we'll talk to the big bomb shop in the Dark World to find out where crystals 5 and 6 belong to.
That's one of those I didn't even know you could talk to them to find out until Keysanity, when people started doing it.
I knew about the Sahasrara one, but I did not know about the bomb hut one at all until later. And a nice 8 bomb drop.
Not much of Mini Molten Cave. We got Compass for Thieves Town. I guess the game really wants us to go to Thieves Town.
I know,
also
right?
got the Cane of Burn up there. And Space choosing to go over to the Ice Rod Cave. Not a bad idea. It's a bit out of the way, but if it has an item and you don't check it early, you might forget about it.
It looks like they're both making that play. I wonder if we'll see a fake flipper to at least... If I don't have Moon Pearl at this point, I usually like to fake flipper and check the island and then do Hobo. just to knock those out and get that information, because you never want to forget, or like you never want to forget to check what's on Lake Hylia Island, and that ends up being like your go mode item or something.
Yes. So both players thinking the same thing so far.
What do we got? Big heart.
Just the heart container.
Woo.
So at this point, we're running out of options. I'm thinking Eastern Palace and Saha. Kind of the obvious one.
They could go up to Death Mountain, but that would be considered a sequence break without the lamp. And the other option is Agnes Cave, which is pretty out of the way, and it's just one item.
Yeah, we don't want to go over there yet.
All right, neither player opting to fake flipper.
They're probably both thinking the same thing I would normally do, which is wait for Moon Pearl and just try and get it all at once.
Yeah.
Also, Space Cowboy, just not enough rupees for Zora yet.
Pretty close. If he had just checked that chest in Sanctuary, he would be. Because I believe that was a 50 rupee chest.
Ugh. That's his
what do you got? Tower of
Hera. Hera.
Which we don't have anything for yet. Keys at all. Alright, well, there's rupees, so he's good. The bailout.
He doesn't need that Sanctuary chest.
Nah. But that's always a scary thought. It's like, at the end of the race, and someone's like, did you know you realized you skipped Sanctuary chest? And you're like, I did? What? I mean, if it ended up having something like important, then of course it'd be pretty.
Imagine if it was something like flute or boots.
Boots would be, or like just like a sword, like just a convenience. I mean, sword is obviously required at some point, but if it means one less sword upgrade, it'd be pretty. Not significant. It depends. Depends on the scenario. Anywho, Eastern Palace. We don't know if it's a pendant or a crystal, despite what the music is telling you right now, because the music is also randomizing Keysanity, so you have no idea if it's a pendant or crystal.
So we're running out of places to go, so I'm thinking there's definitely going to be progression here.
At this point, there's got to be. I could easily see lamp to go.
Yeah,
Lamp or flute, probably.
I agree. Ooh, a sword. Oh my gosh. Could it be, another sword plus lamp plus the other castle tower key? Moon Pearl Pyramid again?
Well, that's the thing, is if they do get a Master Sword, they can at least check that one chest in Castle Tower and sequence break to check the second one.
Yes. Need lamp for that second one, I believe. We are down to one location in Eastern left in the logic, but I expect we'll see a sequence break over to the vanilla big key chest.
I'm so excited for Moon Pearl at Agnes Cave. It's the greatest. But yeah, for those asking, it is, I believe it is 5 rounds of Swiss. Because this is intended to be a shorter tournament, it's going to go Swiss straight to bracket, where all the players that finish 5-0 during the Swiss rounds make it in, and then one person, I think there's going to be a tiebreaker for all the people that go 4-1. So there's going to be like a 30-person tiebreaker race to cap it off, which is always fun. I'm going to put in my submission for that race.
So you know where else the runners can go that we kind of haven't talked about yet? Escape. Right, we have a sword now, so that opens up a lot. And then Zora. And there's nothing left in Eastern in the logic.
So nothing here. So it's got to be Escape.
Bag in the Cave, Zora. But more than likely Escape. Although then again, I said that about Eastern, and we see how that was.
I wonder if Space Cowboy. Well, looks like they're both taking the sequence break. It's just one of those things. Like, I'm here, I can do it. I have a sword, so it's a little bit easier.
It is worth it. It feels more worth it to me than not. So let's see if this one pays off.
What do we got? 300 big ones.
Very much worth it.
Now the question is, someone does make a good point in chat. The only thing that's keeping our players from going to like Paradox Cave and all that is just a sequence break. And if they're comfortable doing that sequence break, then what's stopping them from going up to Death Mountain at this point?
Agreed. That looks like
guess,
we're seeing the escape play from Space Cowboy.
Yeah, it looks like we might be seeing it from both players.
Not a surprise.
I guess it's one of those things where it's like, where do you draw the line? Because like, if you sequence break too much, it can hurt you in the end.
Indeed.
Sometimes it pays off if you can like fake flipper and like somehow. There was one race where if you fake flipper to Hobo, you skipped all of Agate Tower. Like,
oh, I've had that exact thing happen to me as well.
Yeah, it was like pyramid flippers, and then hammer was at Hobo. Now that's a case for sequence breaking, but
yes.
Oh, here's the boots. What was that? Was there anything of value in the library?
No, it was just a rupee of some sort, if I remember correctly. So this does open up the Monk Rocks.
And the King's Tomb.
Ooh, yes, I forgot about that.
So that's 2 more options. Now these players are going to get to run fast.
Gotta go fast!
I'm sad we don't see any Sonic the Hedgehog sprites. Not enough of those.
I fully agree.
A map to Turtle Rock. All right. Now, oftentimes, at least in open mode, you'll see players like take a death warp here at the ball and chain guy, or after that to go check that middle chest. But hopefully, none of these players will do that since they do have a fairy in a bottle. But that is one of those things that's really easy to forget.
I had already forgotten all about it.
There it is. But it doesn't look like the case, and especially when you just get the boots, you're like, I'd rather go do. It's like, where do you draw the line? How can you sequence break some things, but not all the things?
There's enough open and available right now.
Oh.
Ooh, a book!
All right.
Book and boots.
I guess we're going to desert at some point.
Could be something on that torch. Actually, I'm calling there's something on that torch.
Space Cowboy, what are you doing? How does he keep not checking that chest? Like, it's insignificant, but
We'll have to remind him of that later on if he never checks it.
Is this like a joke or something? Did he say, hey, I'm going to miss this chest on purpose?
Yeah, I've done things similar to that, like, ooh, a big key to Misery Mire.
Might be worth it at some point.
Like, I've told myself, you know what, I'm going to skip a certain location, and that'll be the last place I go. And it's totally bit me in the butt, unfortunately.
Oh, man. My last Keysanity. Of course, it was, I'm going to go into Thieves Town now. I don't have the small key to do the whatnot, but...
The last time I did that, later on, I think I didn't have the hammer at the time, because it was a regular seed. Got the hammer, I'm like, I have a couple of places I could go look for this go mode item, but I'm going to that Thieves Town big chest, because that just seems to troll a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it paid off for me. And I mean, we've seen plenty of seeds where, unfortunately, it trolls people because they don't think to check.
So, Liminality, it looked like they were setting up for the water walk, but yeah, if you get hit, you lose the water walk. So that's... And not only did he get hit by the bird, he also ran into the... Oh, what are those things called? They're like the choo-choos in Wind Waker, but a different name. Yeah, because Liminality had already done... A Buzz Blob, that's it. Liminality had already done Mini Molder, so they were just setting up the water walk, so they're gonna have to set it up again. Oh, but getting hit by the crab, that resets it again.
So Space Cowboy heading to the desert, so we'll get Agni Cave, Desert Ledge, and at least 2 items in desert.
Yeah, because we don't have the Desert Palace small key, but there is a lot of stuff to check, and since we saw that, Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb were nothing, there's got to be something over here, right?
I'm telling you, there's something on that torch.
There's got to be something.
What will it be? At this point, I'm thinking it's got to be either Moon Pearl or Death Mountain Princess. I'm going to go with Flute. We're getting Flute here shortly. Or Master Sword.
Hey, Castle Tower.
That is true. There is a Castle Tower chest in the Logic now.
Gross.
That is a place that in Keysanity, if you're not used to it, it's easy to forget. Because they're not used to there being anything other than keys there. But those keys are now randomized.
What have we got on Desert Ledge? We have a big 20. Not that excited. And now, yeah, we only have. Wait, did we get anything else for Desert Palace?
Don't believe so.
Just the book? Okay. Just trying to remember if there was any keys or something we might have got for it. I know we didn't get a small key.
Yeah, not that I remember seeing.
I put in a request for that they would add like a big key icon for the overhead or for the HUD, so you don't have to pause every time to see if you got it.
That would be nice.
I feel like they ignore anything that I say though, because they're like, Willard trolling again.
Did you say something?
Not you too. Don't do this to me, man.
All right, what's it gonna be? Gonna be something here.
Oh,
a big key? Is it
Eastern?
What big key?
Swamp.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's
dear.
That's it. Right?
Zora, I think. Zora Castle Tower. Yeah, so two locations.
What is the next piece of the puzzle at this point? And this is basically, I mean, it's okay at this point in Keysanity because you still might need all these big keys and whatnot, so it's not too bad, but like when you're 2 hours into the run and it comes down to like this, like go here to get one item, that leads you to here to get the next item.
Now,
It's
I'm writing a note because now I feel like there's got to be something in Swamp. Whenever we get to it, it's going to be a while.
I bet there's a crystal there. If I was a gambling man, I'd see.
It's possible. Okay, well, let me specify the Swamp big chest. I'm doubling down on my prediction that there was something on that torch.
There you go. All right, Space Cowboy, what are you checking next? We saw there was Space Cowboy was trying to set up a spin dash off that ladder, but I mean, oh yeah, Sick Kid, that's an option.
That's an easy one to forget.
This is why everyone should have personal trackers, so they don't forget their heart pieces.
You stole his heart, at least some of it.
Now he's dead. At this point, I would just sequence break up to Death Mountain, especially if you're already over here.
I like that idea, but at the same time, you know there's progression in one of these two spots. And it could be something major.
But I like gambling. It's more fun. Alright, we're going to see that castle tower from Space Cowboy. So assuming everyone's going... Oh yeah, unless Liminality goes to like Zora or something.
I think at this point, I would personally fake Flipper and head over to Zora before doing Castle Tower in hopes of finding a lamp. That way you can get both these chests at once.
And of course, you don't necessarily have to fake Flipper to get to Zora. But
That's
you have
true.
to move through, past where the witch's hut is and whatnot. There's also a really quick warp using a fake Flipper right down south of Link's house. You just bonk into one of the statues and then fake Flipper into the little puddle, and there's a whirlpool that'll take you right to right outside the witch's hut, right in that tree. Mm-hmm. If I get early mushroom, I usually do that. Oh, there it is!
Moon Pearl!
Just like that, we have Dark World access.
Well, Aga Tower was required.
Woo!
Just not Aga.
Space Cowboy. Now remembering to get that chest. Just a big 20. Alright, so with Dark World access, now what? You have so many options. What do you do next?
I want to say Thieves Town, but I really want the hammer before going in.
Yeah, that's one of those that you never want to have to backtrack to, because it's always awful.
So it might be a good idea to just try and get some of the overworld, head on down to Hype Cave, all that. And then if you start running out of options, you can look at going into Thieves. I believe you said earlier, Hammer could be in there. True. And Crystal 2 at Turtle Rock.
Oh, just a big 20 for your troubles. Now that's a life lesson right there.
That dang Zora.
Alright, so Space Cowboy making the play into Skull Woods. There is a few chests you can check here. 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. 5 if you have the big key. And then the other 2 are blocked by a fire rod.
I don't blame them for coming here first. It's a quick, easy check.
Oh, and Liminality going for the sequence break. So
It's what you wanted, isn't it?
Yeah. Who knows?
It could pay
Who knows
off.
how this goes? It could.
It could very well pay off.
I'm trying to anticipate what. I mean, maybe let's say they find like a fire rod or something, and then they could do all of Skullwoods right here, right now, or maybe they find the hammer. So, but that's all it takes. You know, one routing difference can make or break an entire run.
Indeed. A small key to pod. We're up to 2 of 6.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to see fairies as the stunned enemy prized. So who needs hearts when you can just keep doing that? Or if you just get random fairies from the bushes as well. These players are spoiled.
For newer players, that's a great stun prize. I would personally love to have that.
What if they had different stun prizes depending on what you used to stun them? So like each of the boomerangs had a different one. That'd be so stupid.
You also might have a reason to pick up boomerangs.
No. Alright, nothing going on in Death Mountain as of right now. Lots of junk items so far. And Skullwood's not really having much of anything either, but who knows, we'll probably need that pod key at some point.
Yeah. So Liminality, you're gonna put that hook shot to use. Is this where the game wanted you to go with the hook shot?
Oh,
there's the hammer!
And he's gonna get revived by his fairy in a bottle. I knew he'd forget. Oh, that's beautiful. But yeah, GG's. Finding that hammer. That's a very nice, and that's gonna make full clear in Thieves Town super sweet. Like a blessing.
Now I feel like there has to be something in that Thieves Town big chest.
It's gotta be. Or probably nothing.
Yeah, because I'm calling it, it'll be nothing. So far, nothing over on East Death Mountain for Liminality.
Yeah, let's hope that this room pays out. 5 chests, there's gotta be something in here. Even like a tempered sword or something would be great. Heart piece. Capacity upgrade. Big 20, come on, man. This is brutal. Ether. Alright. Now we're talking.
That Ether could be useful.
It's going to be the one medallion that's not required.
Probably. Space taking care of Village of Outcasts. I imagine after this you're going to head into Thieves Town. Hey, there's Bombos.
Well, Bombos is always nice, because then, if all else fails, you could always use that when you get to Ice Palace, right? Because there's probably going to be a fire rod in there.
I'm looking, and logically, I think at this point we just need flippers to access Ice Palace. I'm not sure how much of Ice Palace we can access without the keys.
Yeah, Ice Palace logic is still kind of wacky to me. I don't understand it completely. They have a big key. So it really, I think, I don't know. I don't think. I should stop thinking. Thinking is dangerous. Yeah. I just do Ice Palace. I just bomb jump Ice Palace and not think about it.
I'm kind of
check everything every time.
Yeah, once you get flippers, that Ice Palace big chest is available. Could be something useful. Could be nothing.
Could be. All right, Liminality not finding anything really other than that Ether Medallion. Going to be heading up to go get that. Now, what would have been great is if... No, that could have happened. You could have found, like, I don't know, the lamp up in Paradox Cave or something to go, and then would have been able to check the second item in Agate Tower.
Yes.
That would assume that the flute would be somewhere available.
Yes.
Small key.
Another pod small key.
Brings us up to 3. There.
Couldn't you just fake Flipper's Ice Palace? You could. It's just you'd have to keep in mind if there was something in Ice Palace, then you're not supposed to have it yet.
All right, here is Thieves Town. 8 items in here. We're going to be able to check all of them. We have the dungeon map to Thieves Town.
Well, we've got everything for Thieves Town now.
I don't know. I feel like you should just mirror out, except they don't have a mirror. You should just like go back, leave, and then check to see what it is, then go back in. No.
Liminality now has the Moon Pearl. Map of Misery Mire. Is this Map Town?
I know,
Is this
right?
the map vendor?
Can we get a couple more? Is this a new route from Space Cowboy, or is he actually leaving?
He might actually.
He's actually leaving.
He wants to know. It's a pendant.
Of course.
Oh, go back in. Just do the whole thing at this point.
I wasn't actually anticipating him doing that. That's funny. Wow. So, Crystal 6, one of the Pyramid Fairy crystals at Misery Mire. So we already know that opens up, or that throws a bunch of our items into the required pool of items. And good for Liminality. Going to Skullwoods first as well. We'll be getting their hammer. Quake! All right, there's our medallions. So we're good to go in that.
So now, if you're Space Cowboy, are you going to full clear Thieves Town?
Yeah. Yes. It's like the first dungeon you can full clear. You might as well full clear it. And it's Keysanity. I mean, if this was...
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be too much of a risk to, like, bail out on killing blind.
And also, Space Cowboy now getting a 4th pod small key. Getting loaded in that.
So, man, if you had one more pod key... Well, they still need the lamp, so...
You can still you can get a lot done in pod with 4 keys, so I'd be keeping that in mind right now. After Thieves Town, possibly heading down south, taking care of the overworld, and then heading on over.
Yeah, that's one of the hard parts is how do you route after Thieves? Do you go south and go? You would assume to go all the way down there, or do you go up, check like Bumper Cave real quick? Ooh,
He's struggling,
Cowboy.
And he used up his fairy.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here.
This hellway is not simple.
I would bid out the Cane of Berna and just dash your way through it. He's especially got to be careful here. I mean, he does have the hook shot to take care of these little frog lizard locusts, but gonna need to find some hearts along the way. There's one. Oh, wait. The fairy prize pack. The problem is all these guys died to hookshot.
Yep.
That would be a nice time to have a boomerang on.
Oh, no! That's the worst time to die, because you have to go all the way back to that room.
And he's
he's leaving. Oh, no.
Okay, this is huge.
I mean, it could be the right play.
It's like a make or break moment right here. Because I feel like every single time you, like, are on a set path and you die, and then you change like course, it always bites you. But who knows? Who knows? We'll find out.
It's a risk.
He's got a lot of stuff he can go check now. Maybe it would have been better not to check to see that it was pendant, and just committed. Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
And just 50 rupees at the digging game. We're gonna pass on that today.
All right, Liminality, hammer in hand. Will we see that Thieves Town play from them as well?
Will Liminality full clear it? Will he look to see if it's a pendant or a crystal?
And we are also taking the frog on a very fast tour. So at this point, let's say you don't find anything that's going to like completely change your routing. Do you route all the way up and check Pyramid? Maybe go to Catfish, or do you... Do you save and quit out of Hype Cave?
I think you gotta continue the route. Go check the Pyramid, and then choose either Catfish or Pod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be convenient if you found like a Mire along the way, so we could, like, Mire and Flippers would be perfect. Eastern and Mire. Right. So we have our Pyramid Fairy crystals, but we do not have the means to complete them. Not yet. We got a ways to go.
Hey, Willard, I got a question.
Let's hear it.
Will this cave actually be a hype cave?
Depends on what you mean by hype. There's a desert palace.
That could be useful.
It could be. That's 2 items. And that's all we're going to get from here. Now, if the Desert Palace Small Key ends up leading to 2 like amazing items, then can it be hype by association, or?
I'd say yes. It might not be hype now, but it could have turned into hype.
Like, can we give Hype Cave the assist for the? Put that on the record.
Are we keeping track of assists now?
I don't know, man. That's a lot of work. We can't ask our tracker to do that much more work. Or can we?
So, face check in the pyramid. I imagine after this it'll be a catfish check, then save and quit to deliver the bullfrog. Unfortunately, you can't really bring the frog in the pod with you.
Ooh, half magic.
Half magic.
That's
yes,
really nice.
Please.
Yeah, if only you could have a frog and a monkey as a follower. This could be like the next Paper Mario iteration where you have partners and you level them up and use them for battle.
Actually, if you start heading the pod, will Kiki replace the frog?
Yes.
I didn't
100% yes. Mm-hmm. I want the lunchbox on my team. Just pretend it's like a mimic, basically. Everyone loves mimics. They're terrifying. Yeah, assuming Liminality also has that fairy bottle. But let's see if Thieves Town was actually the answer.
This could be huge. If there's something there in Thieves Town, if you're Space Cowboy, you don't want to go back there. You want to forget all about that and never have to touch it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the art of the gamble. You have to commit to it. As soon as you go back, the gamble's over and you lose time regardless. But dying in general is time loss, so... We got another small key. Another pod key, maybe? Turtle Rock. All right. Oh!
Hey, no!
Oh, no!
Oh!
Oh, I'm hurting so bad right now for Space Cowboy.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't do anything for us right now. We know it's required because of Misery Mire being a crystal.
Yes, but again now, if you're Space Cowboy, you're not going to want to go back.
I mean, at least he didn't...
That is the worst room to die in. Because had you completed that and bombed the floor, you at least wouldn't have to go back to that room. But now when you go back, you're going to have to go back through the entire dungeon.
Yeah, basically, if you die before that, or if you die before you get the maiden back to the boss room, it's a huge time loss. So, but he's gonna have to make his way back there at some point.
So to the person asking about what the 5 of 8 means on Liminality screen, that is how many item locations have been checked. You actually now get that pop-up when you have the compass for that dungeon.
And the powder. Whew. So that's 2 potentially... Well, 1 required item and 1 potentially useful item. Or potentially required, we don't know. But it looks like Space Cowboy is going to be heading right back into Thieves. Unless
how many options does he have left? Alright, Thieves Town Big Chest. Let's see.
Oh, the bow! Okay. Whew. Imagine if you had gone into Thieves Town before going into Skull Woods. That would have been horrible.
And this goes to show how important it is to be able to read the logic. Getting that small key early, you knew, okay, this game might really want me to check that big chest. And it did.
But that's just perception bias. Because the next seed you do, and the same scenario happens, it's just going to be a big 20.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, good call finishing out the rest of this. I mean, I'm sure Space Cowboy was obviously planning on finishing it anyway, but taking that death, you're like, I have other stuff I could do, and I don't know, this is a dumb dungeon. I don't want to go in here. So
now that you have the bow, pod is looking like an even better play with all those keys. You still can't fully access it because you don't have the lamp, but you can still access most of it.
Yeah, that's the tough call to make. It's like, do you go to... I mean, when you have 4 pod keys, you can do so much in pod, and who knows, maybe the pod big key is sitting in there.
Yeah. And you can sequence break. I mean, if you're good at dark rooms, at least the one pod dark room is really simple. The other one, not quite as simple, but a lot of players still know it. I mean, you can get 1, 2, 3, 5 chests that are technically lamp lock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. The question is, though, I still feel like once Space Cowboy's done here, I think he's still kind of leading this one, or at least it's really, really close. Because he did have a pretty significant lead. Of course, once he goes up and does all the East Death Mountain stuff, it's going to be a little bit closer to tell, easier to tell.
Yeah, it'll look like he's in a lead right now, but it's still anyone's race. Because you know at some point he will check East Death Mountain. That's guaranteed.
Alrighty, so at this point, both their players are just swapping spots and accomplishing the other stuff. Let's talk about some potential routing options. So we have that small key for Desert, so we can go back and check those two. At least Space Cowboy can, and eventually Liminality. We still have... We have a good chunk of Pod, so who knows? Maybe Liminality will opt to make the Pod play instead. But grabbing the Frog now, so probably not going to happen.
Could fake Flipper and either do Ice Palace or just do a bunch of the Flipper locked stuff.
Now they can actually sequence break up to Death Mountain and make their way all the way up to Tower of Hera. But I don't think they have any of the keys for it, so...
No, so you'd only have access to the 2 chests.
But that does open up all of Dark World Death Mountain as well.
Yes, you actually also have access to the Ether Tablet up there.
Yeah. So, a lot of options, whether you want to remain in sequence or not. I gotta say, either Desert or Pod would be the next play to make.
I agree. I'm gonna stick with the Pod play right now, but we'll see.
Oh, this blind fight's going perfect so far. Until I curse it, maybe? Oh! Hey!
Nicely done.
Not even using the Burnicane. Alright, Cowboy. What's the play? Purple chest, maybe?
I'd personally hold off on Purple Chest till you have the Mire. Especially with the dungeons open.
Actually... Oh, no. You know what he could have done? Grab Purple Chest, save and quit, and then turn that in and then check the 2 chests in Desert.
True.
But it looks like he... What is he doing? What you got the hammer out for?
Magic bat?
Oh yeah, the powder. Forgot about that. Alright.
He's wanting to stay away from those dungeons right now. Could be the right choice.
Could be. A little bit extra time spent for a single item, but... I think everyone's freaking out about your chair.
Sorry.
It sounded like a crying baby. Oh!
I try and keep it quiet.
It's okay, it was funny.
Magic bat will
arrows.
pay off.
Alright, what is the next play? Is this a desert play or a pod play? Looking like a pod play!
I'm thinking pod.
Got the hammer out. So, with bow in hand, you can check the 2 Bowlox chests. You can check the first chest. You can check pretty much all of them except for the maze, or the dark maze, and then those 2 downstairs, based on the lodge. Of course, I feel like both these players know what they're doing, and will probably be able to check all of them.
I think there are 8 chests currently available, but do you want to use up all your keys?
Yeah, that's the dilemma, because, like, I personally will only check enough chests to at least make sure I have 1 leftover key. In case I hit go mode and I'm like, I just want to go back and kill Helma, assuming he's a crystal. Well, we don't know that, so...
Agreed, and I like the idea of trying to save one. And if that's the case, then what don't you check?
It's either one of the 2 single chests. Either the one in the front or the one in the back. And that's just the one of the risks. It's no different than skipping that 1 chest in a Turtle Rock.
Okay, so Liminality, where are you going to go? Are we going to see a divergence here? Are we going to see you go to desert?
This is looking like a purple chest play, if I was to take a guess. Or maybe even a bumper cave check, just to see what's up there. Since I don't think either player actually went up there and took a look. Oh, we got a small key, another T-Rock.
Rock.
Brings us up to 3.
You know, we could actually go in the Turtle Rock. It would be sequence broken because we still don't have Flute or Lamp. But we could access it and get most of the chests out of there. Well, actually, maybe not most, so probably about half.
Well, let's see. You can get the first one, and then use a key. If you kill the Pokey, you'd be able to at least make it to Laser Ridge.
No, we don't have the big key.
Right. Once you get the big key, that doesn't seem like a good idea. That's a terrible idea. Why'd you say that, Wild Flame?
I mean, 3 keys. It's totally got to mean something.
I like what Liminality is doing. Taking that purple chest and going to check those 2 chests in Desert. All right, Pod, what do you got? Moment of truth. It's a bomb. It's 300 rupees. Oh, a fire rod. Was that the fire rod from the purple chest?
I wasn't looking at that screen. Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of Turtle Rock.
I didn't even think about the fire rod, actually, when I said Turtle Rock.
So that's pretty significant. That also...
Lamp!
Oh, there's the lamp! Wow,
that
so all of a
opens up a lot more in Pod.
Oh, man. So... There's both our fire sources, everyone. Fire rod and fire lamp. Yeah, that's what it's called. Fire lamp. Nice bomb toss. There we go. Get it out of here. It's gonna blow.
Alright, so will Desert hold anything of use? And will it still be a hype cave as a result? Watch, we're gonna get another big key out of here or something.
Oh, 10 arrows. Hype cave, why you do this to us?
The Mire!
Wow. So Pod was the play.
It was. Unfortunately, Desert was not. That ends up being a bust.
But getting that fire rod, I think, makes it worth it overall in the end. Because we know that that's required.
Yes, that was still very useful to get that.
Well, unless... No, Turtle Rock is a crystal, so yeah, it's very required. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
unless Liminality knows some hacks that we don't that are allowed.
Well, that's the thing about Pod, though. It's like, I don't want to go there because I don't have the lamp, so that cuts out a lot of things within the logic. But what if there's a lamp in there? Mm-hmm. And that opens up all of Death Mountain, too. Wow.
So Space still has 3 keys.
And Liminality not too far behind, so these runners are going to be pretty close. So at this point, do you use 1 key to go kill Helma? I feel like you would.
Ideally, you gotta wonder, does Space Cowboy know how to hammer jump? And what is the answer? We don't know yet. Ideally, you do the hammer jump.
You might do it on the way back down. Yeah. Oh wait, we still don't have a Pod big key. Never mind. Sorry.
That's true. So we can't kill Helma yet, but you can still save the key.
It's like there's a tracker with big key icons that I could be looking at before stuff comes out of my mouth.
Well, wait. There's a tracker?
Maybe I should utilize that. Yo, shout out to our tracker, by the way.
Indeed.
There's a full heart refill. That's nice.
Oh, and a key. Castle Tower.
I mean, that's a very useless key, though.
Yes,
because you're not gonna go. This is not an all dungeons seed. Oh, what are we doing? This should have been an all dungeons Keysanity tournament.
Oh gosh. I mean, aren't most of the Keysanity seeds all dungeons by the end of it anyway?
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta at least touch all the dungeons.
Small key to Hera. And Space Cowboy no longer has a small key for Pod, so he will need another one. Assuming that Pod is crystal.
Skull. There's a useless key if I've ever seen one. Cowboy, you don't have the big key.
Castle Tower key.
And hey, at least he does have the mirror though, and now he can save and quit because he can't go into Eastern.
So, fun fact: that second Castle Tower chest is now in the logic.
Yes, that lamp opens up so much if you think about it.
Do Castle Tower and Hyrule Castle use the same keys? No, they do not. They're labeled differently. There's 2 for Castle Tower, 1 for Hyrule Castle.
I wonder if that's how... I wonder if they share keys in, like, vanilla. Or if they always have been separated or counted separately.
That I do not know.
I remember there were discussions in the past about having Aga Tower and Hyrule Castle, like, randomized together. But then everyone... I don't know. Nobody liked that idea or something. It didn't go far, let's say that.
So, Death Mountain, now in the logic.
So yeah, as of right now, both the Castle Tower keys and the Hyrule Castle key are being marked under the HC section. So if it says 3, that's because we're counting all 3. Because we don't really need a third small key, or another small key spot, or another key spot just for one random key that generally oftentimes gets, not used, since usually you find the glove early enough to go check the back anyway.
Talk about what's going on right now. We talked about how Liminality had been on Death Mountain earlier, and Space Cowboy would go there eventually. Space is probably going to couple in Dark Death Mountain, Tower of Hera, and maybe even some of Turtle Rock with this.
Oh man, we're gonna see that Tower of Hera basement check, maybe? You got a fire source.
I refuse to leave Tower Hera basement alone anymore.
Now here's
every time I do.
Every time. And here's the interesting part is, you open up all these locations, and all of a sudden something like Purple Chest is not on your mind anymore, which we know has the fire rod, which is required. Yep. So, that's one of those things that might come back to make a big difference later on in the run.
I think there's something. I think if Death Mountain doesn't have anything major, we'll see him go back to that fire rod pretty soon, because I don't know if there's that many other things he can do within logic. So he'll probably be thinking that desert play.
Yeah, desert is also a crystal, so maybe if he finds the big key, that will send him... But, how often do you route Purple Chest in with... Oh, hold on. Oh, that actually did work. Okay. So Liminality using the bombos to take them out. I thought it wasn't going to work because technically Liminality is on a different layer, which is why you can't hookshot them or hit them with an arrow when you're sitting on top of that bridge. So I was kind of surprised that worked, but I guess it makes sense.
So Space Cowboy electing not to do the basement, but we are getting a Spike Cave check. And this is well within logic. We have half magic. We have Tina Burna.
Oof. Cutting it a little close there. There it is.
The Bloomerang.
That's the real required item. One thing of noting, worth noting is that you should never probably cut it that close with the Tina Burna. As someone who has died in the middle of the animation in a tourney race in Spike Cave,
I
doesn't feel
died
good
as well.
The worst part is it was in my race against Andy, which that's embarrassing. It's okay, he hovered anyway.
So Liminality looks like going to be doing the bomb jump. Now that could turn into something huge if they struggle to find another pod small key.
Yeah, it could actually be a pretty big difference maker if pod ends up being a crystal.
Yes. You still don't have the big key. So, we know Paradox Cave is going to come up empty. But will there be something over on Dark Death Mountain?
I wonder if Cowboy's going to make the T-Rock play as well. Wait, where was Ether again?
I honestly can't remember.
Oh, it was right here in Paradox Cave. He's about to get it.
Okay.
That's why. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now. Hey, there's Ether.
Oh, hey. Alright, so yeah, despite all that, Liminality only just a little bit behind, and like Space Cowboys checking all these spots that Liminality already has, so...
Keep in mind, Liminality has that Fire Rod. So it could go straight in the Turtle Rock, and there could be something there of value that Space can't reach, just if it's on the right side.
You're right. That'd be crazy.
Or there could be nothing in Turtle Rock, Space skips it, Liminality goes in with the Fire Rod, and he's ahead.
But what about this mushroom?
That is true. Unfortunately, with no flute, it's not as quick of a check. But still not too far out of the way.
Small key 2, Misery Mire. Probably next to Skullwood's, probably one of the most useless small keys.
Now, will Liminality also go to the basement? I personally would. I don't think there's going to be anything there. That's just my feeling. So, of course, there's something there.
Alright, Space Cowboy gonna go open up Turtle Rock. Doesn't really matter what medallion it is, because we have all three.
Liminality is indeed checking Hera basement. This could be big.
Oh, and it was Ether, so...
I feel like that happens a lot. Yeah, the medallion is always close to the dungeon.
Yeah. I remember there was a brief period where it was always... The medallion for Mire was always either in Mire Shed or in Checkerboard Cave. Alright, he's gonna go do Hookshot Cave first, which is,
That's a good play.
a good play, indeed.
It's a quick
If he ends up finding, the T-Rock Big Key in here, then he could check a little bit more, but...
Again, still doesn't have that Fire Rod.
Yeah. A Tempered Sword. Oh, and only a heart piece in Hera Basement, so definitely not worth it.
Nope. Tempered Sword for Space, though, is a very good find. And Flippers! That opens up a lot.
So we don't have the Swamp Palace Small Key yet, but once we find it, we can do all of Swamp.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was about to say we should go to Swamp.
But what if it's in the first chest?
That is true, although they did fix the bug where it had a huge chance of being it, relatively speaking.
I think it had a 10% chance of it.
Yeah, but Ice Palace is on the table, but so is a couple of chests here in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and here's the thing. With that cane and the big key for Ice Palace, the logic would be fine with you going to Cold Stare at this point.
So now the question becomes, will there be something on the right side Turtle Rock? Because if so, Space is going to have to come back later.
Yeah, we're about to find out here.
Either way, he'll have to come back later, because he can't complete it, right?
Yeah, let's see how far he can get. He can at least check Mimic.
I think he can clear everything
That'll be the
up
last
to the big
thing.
chest. Yes.
Yeah.
Now the question is, with 3 keys, do you get the vanilla big key chest, or do you save that key? We had this issue in one of the previous races today.
I feel like you should always skip that chest. I feel like there's only been 1 out of every 10 races where there's something required in that chest.
Yeah, it's one of those, I like the idea, but then what if that's your progression and nothing else pays off? Then you have to come back and check it.
Yeah. I think there was a Fire Rod there once or something, maybe. I don't know. Well, I know I've seen that in just an open mode, but I don't know if I've seen it in the Keysanity. But we'll see what Space Cowboy decides to do here.
Maybe it's a vanilla big key.
At the same time, it's you don't have the means to complete the dungeon anyway, so you're more than likely going to go ahead and find, Ice Rod and Big Key and all this stuff elsewhere. So you might as well check it. So, but looks like he's opting not to. I hope he realizes that he can't do Laser Bridge yet. Because maybe that's the thing. He's like, no, I want to go do Laser Bridge. Because we already saw both players check the big chest in pod, thinking that they already had the big key.
Yes.
So
I think he knows, and he just wants to save that key. He knows there's another one out there, and if he watched that prior match, he could be thinking, well, what if that happened to me? Because we have not seen what's on the pedestal yet.
A pedestal seed? Why, I never. Alright, but we're going to find out what's on the right side in T-Rock for Liminality, so this could be big.
I don't think I've commentated the pedestal seed yet.
Oh, what if this is like the desert big key or something? That'd be interesting for routing. And it's a big 20. Oh, bummer.
Of course. Will Liminality have more luck?
So Space Cowboy, moment of truth.
Is he? Oh, dear.
He should be saving and quitting right now.
Yes, he should. The map is swamp, and nothing more on right side. So not having Fire Rod isn't going to hurt him. Hey, Space, I want you to look at that door in front of you.
It's okay, I've done it before. I just find it funny that he skipped the big chest because he's like, I don't have the big key. But then walked up to that door and was like, you don't have the big key. I was like, oh.
And for those watching, if you don't play a lot of Keysanity and you're not used to it, it's kind of habit. At this point, you're going to have the big key. You don't even think about that you need it for that. So I can't blame him in the slightest for doing that. Yeah. I've done the same thing.
That's interesting because like some of the dungeons do have this double big key door scenario. Like even Eastern Palace has one. It's like I think the big key right after you get the door right after you get the big key is a big key door. So
yes,
but it's an easy one to make a mistake of. But
so what is he doing? Is he going to check that first chest of swamp?
He might be checking Bombos first. But at this point, you're like, oh man, purple chest into Bombos.
Yeah, unfortunately, now I feel like it's going to be longer till he does purple chest. Liminality, now, will you go check that vanilla big key location?
Yeah, thankfully for Space Cowboy, there was an update on that right side in T-Rock, so not having Fire Rod for it didn't make a difference at all. And we got, on the Bombos tablet, a big key. It's... Yeah, there it is!
Oh!
Alright, that's huge.
If you guessed location 78, you're probably not right. I didn't. Oh, Liminality's checking that chest.
Oh!
The flute!
Oh my god!
Oh!
Alright. Everything that I said earlier, I take it back. Always check that chest.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's bad for Space Cowboy. I can't imagine when he's ever going to go back and check that, because it looks like now... Well, he does have the flippers, so he can check all the flipper locations and do Ice Palace. But... Yeah, that sucks. Not gonna lie, that really sucks, because...
That is putting it bluntly and truthfully. Because when are you going to go back there? Ooh. Oh, another pod small key. Well, that's useful at some point.
Oh, yeah. That was actually the first time we've seen Lake Hylia Island, so we had no idea what that was. But yeah, generally in Keysanity, you never open that chest in T-Rock, so...
No, because again, if you look at that prior seed, where the other Turtle Rock small key, spoilers incoming, was on the pedestal, you don't want to have to go out of the way and get that. So neither player there checked that chest, and in that case, it paid off.
Oh, there
it is! Oh!
Right.
Oh, there's that fourth key. Well, now he's probably more inclined to check it, but it's still going to be a while.
Well, hopefully he finds, like, the T-Rock Big Key and Ice Rod soon or something.
That would be very good to find.
As well as getting that Fire Rod, but... I don't know, maybe when you don't have the means to actually complete T-Rock, and you're in T-Rock, it might be a good idea to go ahead and check that middle chest, case in point.
I'm suddenly on your side on that one.
It's interesting. It's really interesting to think about, and it's probably one of the factors that makes Keysanity so fun to watch. Not so much fun to play, because you're like, come on, man. Tower of Hera.
I saw the T. I thought it was going to say Turtle Rock.
Same. And there's that Ice Palace small key, so I could easily see an Ice Palace play coming up for Space Cowboy. He does have Bombos, so he can get through it relatively, and Half Magic, and Tempered Sword.
Compass on the Ledge, I don't think we're going to be getting that.
Yeah, and Zora only had, what, 5 rupees, I think? Big 20?
Yeah, Big 20 sounds right.
I think Liminality did check this before doing Agate Tower, so... Yeah, Liminality going back to go finish off Skull Woods, and then I would assume we'd see a trip to the Mire area next. We do have the big key for Mire, and whatever medallion we need for it.
Oh, yeah.
And
You definitely
it's Crystal 6, and we do have Kane, so that's got to be the next play after this.
I fully agree.
But hey, guys, you know what this means? We might see a pedestal check coming up pretty soon.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, mama.
So there was a question in chat, and I quote, "I wonder what it says on the pedestal if a key, compass, or map is there." Well, you might be finding out pretty soon. Because when you think about it, there are how many keys and maps and compasses in the game? There's a pretty high chance for one to be on the pedestal. Whether or not we need it is another question.
Oh, Space Cowboy going for the huge play, checking that first chest in Swamp Palace.
I don't blame him at all.
I kind of hope this isn't just like a user error of, oh, I have the small key, I can do this. Oh, and Liminality getting grabbed by the Wall Master.
I hate those.
It's like, they were going for the heart, so they, you want all the health you can get for this boss. But
I don't blame Space in the slightest for doing this play. It's not the right play right now, I don't think, but I don't think it's a bad play. At least the first chest, it's a quick check. And it could always be something huge.
What is it? It's a big key for Eastern. All right.
There you go. Something
That's
good.
a crystal. That's actually really big, because if like the Swamp Palace small key is in Eastern or something.
Mm-hmm. And Eastern is the other 5/6 crystal. So
yeah.
Actually, this means the Pyramid Fairy is now in the logic.
So that's actually not a bad check by Space Cowboy.
Nope.
Who knows? That could be the intended route. You don't know.
Mafia, help us out. Come on.
Please die already.
There we go. That fight is probably one of the more difficult ones in here. There's the Ice Rod!
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And it was a pendant, so that's our last pendant. That's all 3.
Yes, so that means Swamp is a crystal, and Ice Palace is a crystal as well, to fill out the tracker.
It's kind of fortunate when you find a dungeon that's relatively short and it's a pendant, because you're like, okay, good. I didn't have to go through all of Swamp just to get a pendant or something like that.
Now, unfortunately, Hera is not completable yet, so the pedestal is not in the logic, but we can still hope.
What do you mean? We have the big key was in Waterfall Cave.
Okay, sorry. Liminality doesn't have it yet. That's where I was looking. You're right.
Okay. All right, pedestal check. Grant us this one wish. Put something funny here.
Go up. Go up.
If it says Rupee Horde, I'm gonna leave. Ah, boo! Heart container.
Can we re-roll the seed?
Can we go hop in the IRC? Sorry, guys. Head was boring. Gonna need you to restart. Alright, well, we're gonna find out what the next 2 items in Eastern Palace are from Space Cowboy's side.
Space, go down, go down!
God. Please.
Thank you for remembering.
Just
you cannot just forget the Compass of Pod. You have to get it.
Yeah, this is so bad. Like, if there's anything to be upset about, for reasons of, now I'm getting ahead of myself since it's not over, but like, the chance of losing a race because of that one chest in T-Rock is like enough to make you never want to play Keysanity ever again.
Yes. All right, Liminality, where are you going? Checking Bumper Cave. A heart container. We're not getting that because we don't have a cape, and well, it's a heart container. what is your next play? We haven't seen Graveyard Ledge.
Not yet. I'm assuming it's gonna be straight to Mire after this.
I mean, I think that's the play.
Yeah. So
what items do we even still need?
Space Cowboy needs to find that small... Oh, that's... Desert, okay.
Desert,
still
big
good.
key.
So that means... Alright, basically Space Cowboy needs this route, this path he's taken to lead to a Swamp Palace small key. Because he needs for the route to intend for you to go into Swamp Palace without that small key. In order to make his play work for him. The problem is he keeps on finding good stuff. Like, he keeps on finding progression. So his chances of going back into T-Rock keep on getting slimmer and slimmer. But at the same time, we don't know if the flute leads to anything yet. We know we need it, but he needs to get that fire rod. Oh, he needs to get that fire rod. Go kill Mafia to get the ice rod.
Speaking of getting items, I just took a look, probably for the first time at the full tracker. You realize unless I'm missing something, we're 2 big keys away from go mode?
Really? So Pod and...
Turtle Rock and Pod.
Wow.
We have all the items we need.
This is a quick
We just
seed.
need those.
111
yes, this
already.
isn't... Well, we say this. We don't know where those big keys are yet.
I mean... You know it's not going to be anything like going to G-Tower to get one of those big keys, since you need those big keys to get into G-Tower, so...
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to probably see 100% free G-Tower, straight up the gauntlet.
I can't imagine any reason to go through any more of it. You know what? I take it back. We still also need the Swamp Palace small key.
Yes.
Let's not forget that.
It's pretty significant. And Liminality probably got a mirror and check out...
Don't tell me that's a Swamp small key.
No, we've been here before.
Okay. Yeah, I still have written in my notes the Swamp Big Chest. I said earlier it was going to have something. It could have one of those big keys. I just want my notes to be right.
So unless land moles are holding on to something, or there's something in this big chest, I'm curious to see where the rest of the seed wants you to go.
There are so many different options open to us right now. It looks like Liminality is choosing to go to Ice Palace. Don't blame him.
Bye, Ice Palace.
Never mind. Why did I bother?
Oh yeah, Liminality has not seen the item on the Lake Hylia item, which I believe was a pod small key. So they'll probably have to route back around to go check that after they swim past it, thinking, I might need this. This could be big. I think right now, the bigger issue is not so much that flute, because Liminality has not actually used the flute yet. We don't know if it leads to anything yet. I mean, it's required, obviously. But it's really that fire rod in Purple Chest that is going to be a significant issue, especially because, well, I mean, unless his silver arrows are, like, on point. Fire rod's usually a good item to have for Landmola. Landmolas.
Not just one of them. So, if you're Space, once you're done here, where do you go?
What do you have to do? He might go to Ice Palace.
He could do that. He could go to Hera, although it is a pendant.
Yeah, and he hasn't done Hera Basement, so that might be his next choice, but could go Hera to T-Rock again.
Oh, he does not want to go to Turtle Rock.
Oh, nothing here.
I can guarantee that. Desert was a complete bust.
Yeah, other than that crystal. Actually, I think there was a big key on the torch. Maybe.
That is true. Don't remember what it was to, but there was a big key.
I think it was the Mire big key. No, I don't remember what it was. Insignificant. Swamp Palace. Thanks. It was a key item.
What are you gonna do? Are you going to check?
Oh, the one chest in Aga?
You can do the last chest in Castle Tower or the sewer chest. I don't believe we've seen that checked yet.
Oh, yeah. And the nice thing is you can grab the sewer one, mirror out, and then go up and do Aga.
Yes.
So...
that's what it looks like he's going to do.
Hopefully this works out for him. But if it ends up being nothing, then it's not looking good. Liminality rocking out the bomb jump in Ice Palace, missing it the first attempt. Let's see, attempt number 2, perfect. Oh no! That little ahead of themselves.
You're gonna do it again.
That's so easy to do. You're like, sometimes those pots are a little slippery. They're hard to pick up, so. And just a hard container in sewer, so. Nothing yet. What's it gonna be?
I think Liminality checked this chest earlier, if I remember right. Could be mistaken.
The Aga Tower chest? No. I don't think so. I'm kind of hoping it's going to be like the Swamp Palace small key or something.
And yeah, you're right. It was not checked. I guess I'm getting them mixed up. Easy to do.
Whew. Yeah, and at this point, all the maps are useless now.
ALTTTPR.
Nothing else really going on yet. Ah, just 50 rupees. That's a bummer. Small key. To Swamp! There it is! Oh, that's bad for Cowboy now. Oh, that stinks.
Well, we're now 2 items away from go mode.
So we just need that big key for T-Rock and that big key for Pound, and we'd be good to go. Alright. Well, Space Cowboy looks like they're making their way back up to Tower of Hera, so... as long as they go
back to Turtle Rock.
Yeah. But opting to not go into Ice Palace at all. And still without that Fire Rod. That's the problem, though, is at this point you might have forgotten about the purple chest, because oftentimes people will do the whole sequence.
It's one of those, it's a single location out of the way at this point. Whereas if you go to dungeons, you have item density. You can get multiple locations in the one. So I don't blame him.
Oh, there
it is!
Oh, that's huge. That's one more item. All right, we're down to one more item. We just got to find that pod big key.
Liminality's routing has turned out to be really well.
Yeah, that's been going very well for him. By the way, super special epic shout out from Epic Name Bro for the huge raid. Welcome, Raiders. For those that are unaware, this is a tournament race of Link to the Past Randomizer. They are playing Keysanity, which is a funky game mode where all the dungeon items, keys, big keys, maps, compasses, you name it, are randomized throughout the rest of the pool of items. So G-Tower Big Key can be on Bombo's tablet or something, maybe. We never see that.
Why would you pick that location to give an example for?
Just throwing something out there, man. Just roll with it.
So Space did find a blue mail upgrade. Useful, but not what we're looking for.
Which you can't really tell because of this sprite. But if you look deep into his cold, dark blue eyes, you can see a hint of blue tunic in there. Yeah, so, Ice Palace looking like the real play, and... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all we need now is the pod big key. Now, this could be anywhere. I mean, earlier you said Mire was the play. I've been saying Swamp Big Chest. Could either of those be it? Could it be somewhere else?
I'm curious why Space Cowboy decided to take... There's a B-Torp. Take the... Oh, I guess going for Green Pendant, but I don't know. Would you have a Crystal Dungeon that you could do? Why pick a Pendant Dungeon over a Crystal Dungeon?
Did he know if this was a Pendant or a Crystal?
Well, he knows where all of them are because he finished Eastern Palace. Or no? What was the other pendant dungeon?
I have not kept track of who had the maps.
Never mind. I take that back. He doesn't know because Liminality was the one that did Skull Woods. So.
And now checking the basement, we know it's useless. Just a piece of heart. Gold Stayer going down for Liminality. Down to 2 hearts.
Oof.
Getting a piece of heart as a reward.
I think Liminality still has that fairy in a bottle, so...
Was that Liminality's first crystal? Really? Wow.
Wow.
An hour and 20 minutes in for your first crystal, meanwhile, you're 1 item from go mode.
Ooh, Cowboy's got to be careful. I don't know if he's over too far to the left. He might actually get... You could get stuck in those blocks if you're, like, right in the diagonal. Right where he is.
That is horrible, because you realize you're stuck at the very end after all that wait.
I mean, thankfully, if he was stuck, he still had a mirror, so he could have gotten out. If you don't have a mirror, then it's kind of a frustrating scenario.
So Liminality also still needs the big key for Eastern Palace. So you'll be getting that shortly, I would think.
Yeah, looks like Liminality is making the swamp play. And I gotta say, we're probably gonna find our Palace of Darkness key in there. But I still find it interesting not going to Mire, or even just like checking the Mire area yet. Like, getting that flute and not using it yet is kind of fascinating to me. I'll have to make sure to ask at the end of this.
Yeah, I personally would have gone to Mire, at least check the shed and Checkerboard Cave. Ace heading over to Ice. He will be rewarded for that one.
Yeah, we saw it was the Swamp Palace small key and the Turtle Rock big key. Of course, he still needs to return that purple chest to get his fire rod, so we'll be seeing a lot of Bombos play in this Ice Palace. And by a lot, I mean at least 3 times.
Assuming he finishes it, which I sure hope he does.
There's the big key for Eastern Palace. Well, the other thing is, if Pod Key ends up being in here, then Liminality will be able to go mode Mire, Desert, Eastern.
Maybe. Because Liminality still doesn't have that big key for Desert.
Oh yeah, that was at Armos Night, so...
Yeah, I believe that was an Eastern, so... Also, Liminality picking up the cape. We know that is useless.
Hey, you leave.
Oh yeah, and good
cape
point.
Is very nice.
Good point in chat. Also doesn't have a Gannon Tower big key.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure Liminality will check that immediately after this at Bombo's tablet, so... I would hope so.
Yeah, yes. Hopefully.
We haven't actually seen... This is our first time seeing Swamp Palace, so if we find, like, the pod big key in here... You never know. Sometimes players will get distracted by new items and go elsewhere, but Bombos is literally right there. I can't imagine Liminality missing out on that one. Yeah, if it ends up becoming true that Space Cowboy forgot about Purple Chest entirely, can blame that powder in Thieves Town on that.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case. Big 20. All right, well, so we already know what else is in Ice Palace, so everything else is just going to be... It's going to be brand new to us in Swamp. Liminality going for the left side play, and your play of the big chest in Swamp having something is dead. It's okay, you'll get him next time.
See, this is why you're not going to see me, making it to the finals, because I totally would have bet everything on that. And yeah, don't blame Liminality for checking left side. I think in this situation, you have to.
Okay, I was wondering, like, where are you going? Sometimes players will elect to just set up the left side play, or They'll set it up and then they'll go fight Argus and come back. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call. Liminality's still looking for 2 more items that we already know where they are. Or 3 items, and we already know where 2 of them are. So...
and the problem is, those items can be anywhere at this point. So it's hard to justify skipping a certain area, saying, oh, it's not going to be there. It could be anywhere.
So Liminality needs Pod Big Key to be in here, basically. If it's anywhere else, Space Cowboy could save some time go-moding Swamp Palace at some point. Still a lot of hypotheticals to throw out. That's what's fun about being a commentator. We can just speculate the whole time, and then be wrong every time. And that's 100% fine.
Yeah, Space getting his small key to Swamp. So I wonder if he'll go straight back to there afterwards.
There's the red boomerang, finally.
We haven't seen the bug net yet, have we?
No. I don't.
I was so expecting the bug net out of that chest.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what Space Cowboy does next after this. So we still have 4 more chests, 4 more items in Swamp Palace to figure out what they are. If Pod Big Key is sitting at, Argus, then we'll be in commentators go mode, where we know where everything is. We're just waiting for these players to find where everything is.
Space also now getting his Turtle Rock Big Key, so in the back of his mind, he might be thinking that. But also, still needs a rods for that. It really hinges on that purple chest at this point.
Yeah.
Like, that's blocking so much for him. Purple chest contains the Fire Rod, leads the Ice Rod, and eventually the rest of the Turtle Rock.
Just a heart piece and arrow, so more junk items. Still 2 more spots to check in Swamp Palace. There, I think, is that the last pod key? How many pod keys are there in the game?
Yes, that is the last pod key. There are 6.
Okay. So... no pod bit. Well, there's still 1 more. Let's see if Argus has anything, but...
I'm starting to think Mire.
Mire Shed, Checkerboard Cave, Laser Bridge, Big T-Rock Big Chest, Trinex. And that's just how, like, endgame is in Keysanity. It's like there's like so many options, and whoever picks the right one wins, and that's it. A lot of times, especially in Keysanity, because a lot of it is luck, like, you'll see... Oh, wow. I was about to say something about skill, but that was pretty skillful. Getting out that silver arrow snipe on Argus real quick. Didn't even give him a chance to breathe.
Argus is not easy to get a quick kill on, especially with the bow, because he moves so fast. But Swamp officially a bust.
Yeah, you see it a lot. You see it a lot in like open mode, a lot of upsets. But I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more upsets in Keysanity, and a lot of people upset about what trolley seed they're going to get.
Liminality heading over to Bombos.
Going to get their G Tower Big Key. Now the question is, what's next for Space Cowboy? Will they go check that purple chest? Getting a map check in, so still don't know about Swamp. Doesn't know that Skullwoods is the last pendant. Da-da-da-da. So yeah, it's all about that Pod Big Key. And then, oh yeah, and Liminality still needs to go do Desert. Well, here's the thing though. Or Eastern to do Desert. Liminality's probably not... check. Yeah, Liminality's probably not going to go back to the Pod Eastern area until they get their Pod Big Key. Space Cowboy about to...
very much understand that.
And it looks like Space Cowboy's going back into Pod? And probably going to check Sahas Roulette at the same time, having gotten that green pennant from Tower of Hera. Big 20. Compass. Not here. Not yet. So, I think...
Someone just brought up a good point that it does make sense to do Eastern pretty soon because of the Fat Fairy crystals.
Oh, yeah, that is true. So that is two more options.
Yeah, that could give Liminality some incentive to go back over there.
So I guess for Space Cowboy, it's either go and do all of Swamp, go back and check... Well, I mean, he has the ability to check more stuff in T-Rock now, but...
If I were him, I'd be doing Swamp next, which we know is not the right move. But there's how many chests in Swamp? There's a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit. Alright, our first Mire check. And apparently it was Quake to get in there. So there are 8 items in here. We have the big key. We can check all of them, and we can kill Viddy. So when you're looking for one more item, do you go ahead and full clear initially, or do you just go straight to Vitreous? Check some chests along the way, because what if Vitreous ends up holding the pod key? You could save a little bit of time.
Well, if that pod key ends up being somewhere like the vanilla big key chest here.
Well, right. You'd still go back in. I'm just saying...
This is a bit of a tough one.
When you're looking for one more item, how do you route these dungeons that you have to complete anyway?
I feel like I'd play it safe and check everything, and I feel like that's not the best way of doing it. Another option is doing kind of like a semi-go mode, checking all the easy-to-get locations, and just trying to get to the end of the dungeon and hoping that you find it along the way.
Mm-hmm. Now, in open mode, generally the race format that we do, a lot of times Mire, T-Rock, there are certain dungeons that are oftentimes always checked. Hold on. Space Cowboy didn't get the pod key. Oh, I think he got confused. Oh, he went all the way back just to check the big chest.
Oh
no.
That is unfortunate.
He must have got confused because he did pick up the Turtle Rock big key.
Yeah. And we know that big chest at this point cannot have anything of use.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. That's unfortunate. And it looks like he's going to be making the Swamp Palace play. So I'm almost like tempted to just go on a limb and say that he's forgotten about Purple Chest. Or he's going for route efficiency, chest efficiency, and checking areas with higher numbers of chests.
That's what I'm thinking, because, there's a bunch of locations out there, single locations. They're going to be a pain to get to. I mentioned it earlier, but
Sorry.
Is that needed? Who knows?
I don't know, but if he's willing to walk all the way back to Pod just to check that one chest... Well, I guess he was going to go back and finish it. Assuming he thought he had the pod key to go ahead and do it, but... That's unfortunate. Anyway, what I was saying before is that a lot of times players will full clear like T-Rock and Mire anyway. But in Keysanity, you can kind of route it a little bit differently. Like, oftentimes players, this will be their first chest that they check when they go to Mire the first time. But when you already have keys going here, you can kind of check the other stuff and then, route this way. And then if you find whatever you need, then you can just go ahead and kill Vitreous. It's all very interesting to some people.
I never really put much thought into that, but you're absolutely right. I'm going to keep that in mind my next tournament match.
That's one of the fun things about Keysanity is it changes not all your muscle memory, but just like creates more options of how to route the game. Like we already have the vanilla game, NMG, and how you route it that way. Then Randomizer was created, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, but now I can do this and this, and all of a sudden these glitches work in this game mode that never existed or really worked in the vanilla game. Now we have Keysanity, where it's like, well, now I can do it even more wacky.
So, assuming Shovel does not lead to anything, Mire is another bust. No, unless Vitreous has something, but if that's the case, you could have just go-moed it. So, kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm sure Liminality and most people would want to save T-Rock for last, so they can go straight from T-Rock to G-Tower, because it's the most efficient. But with how many chests are in there, you gotta be thinking, how big has gotta be there, right? It's gotta be there, right? Because, I mean, there's the big chest, the one chest before you go downstairs, the 4 on Laser Bridge.
You know, looking at everything that's available, I think if Vitreous doesn't have it, yeah, it's gonna be in Turtle Rock. What else have we not seen?
Pyramid Fairy. Which, for Liminality, would be finish Eastern, get the Desert Palace Big Key, go back, finish Desert, and then Pyramid Fairy. So, yeah, we're kind of running out of options. It's Pyramid Fairy, Vitreous, or back in T-Rock. Or Sahasrahla, because I think Space Cowboy forgot to check Sahasrahla after getting the green pendant. Which would be... It'd be pretty amazing if it was. Because that would be... That would be an all-dungeon seed, basically. Because I don't think Mire had anything but blue otherwise.
I mean, Mothula was required.
Mm-hmm.
Thieves Town Blind was not required.
True.
Yeah, if Green Pendant was required, and yeah, pretty much all dungeons. Goodbye, Vitreous.
Piece of Heart. That's it.
Wow.
Gotta go to Eastern then. I don't know, what do? Do you go to T-Rock or do you go to Eastern and bank on Pyramid Fairy?
I like the Eastern play because of Pyramid Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going to go?
Moment of truth. Agate Tower? Looks like it. Or a sewer chest, at least. Interesting choice.
Those one-off locations.
Yeah.
Those are easy to forget about this late in the seed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have Crystal Dungeons. A Crystal Dungeon you can go complete. But there's nothing worse than getting trolled by, like, an overworld item or one of these just standalone chests. So yeah, for anyone just tuning in, welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying the race. We are looking, as viewers and commentators, we are looking for one more item to consider at least one player in Go mode. And we need the big key for Palace of Darkness in order to go fight the boss, get the crystal. And then that unlocks Gannon's tower to go beat the game. And we're kind of running out of last options. Remember when I was saying how fast the seed was going to be around the 111 mark?
Yep, and I told you, hold on, we're not done.
But that's the thing, is if Liminality just made all the right choices, we'd probably be done by now, right?
Liminality's made a lot of right choices. I'm impressed.
No, I'm just joking around.
We need Space Cowboy to make the right choice and go get Purple Chest after this. Really hope he remembers. What else can he do after Swamp? He can't do Mire. He can go back to Turtle Rock.
I think he's just got Purple Chest and T-Rock. So hopefully he goes to... Hopefully he remembers Purple Chest, because if he goes up to T-Rock without a Fire Rod and Ice Rod, he's going to be generally upset. Yeah, if Challenge says something about 8 rounds, ignore it. We're only doing 5.
Yeah.
8 rounds would be ridiculous.
So, Liminality choosing to go up to Hera.
Okay. Well, might also go back and do T-Rock at this point. Yes. There is still a lot of chests in there.
T-Rock, it's looking really likely that holds that last big key. We know that. They don't.
I believe Liminality's sprite... Oh, you're right, going into Tower of Arrows, so... It is the Maple Queen, which which was made in honor of the one and only Sakura Tsubasa, one of the members of the community. Great individual, very Canadian. See, I need to work on my own sprite, but I'm just too busy playing as Garfield, the best sprite out of all of them.
I've been using Negative Link a lot, but I'm going to start using the Sonic sprite.
Maybe if you use Sonic sprite, it'll make Boots show up a little bit quicker every time.
I'm actually one of those, I don't like finding Boots early, because my movement is so bad.
Well, Space Cowboy about to get their flute, assuming this has to be the trip back into T-Rock.
Yeah, but will he go to that chest? He could go straight to Laser Bridge.
Well, he has all the small keys now, right? Or is there still one more missing?
He does. He does have them all. It would be smart to go to that chest.
It sucks that one single chest can, well, I guess two for him, since missing the purple chest could really throw off the entire race. But at the same time, he's accomplished a lot given what he's missing. And I mean, he's winning in crystal counts right now, right? Maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 versus 3, actually.
We've seen 5. See 4.
Oh, you're right.
3.
My bad. I looked
Counting
at Thieves Town. The pendant looked like a crystal, all right? You give me a break. Math wasn't required for this job.
Shoutouts to the gold crystals in this game. Whenever you get like a dungeon item from the boss, it just makes the crystal gold. It's gorgeous. I don't know why I like it so much.
All right, both players heading back into Turtle Rock.
Here we go.
Unfortunately, Space doesn't have those rods. And again, for anyone that missed this, Fire Rod is in the purple chest, and Ice Rod is at Mothula. Pendant Mothula, I might add.
So both players entering the dungeon, Turtle Rock, roughly around the same time, but only one player is going to be able to walk out of here with a crystal.
The question is, will either of them walk out of here with the Pod Big Key?
Yeah. At this point, I don't see any scenario that's going to give Space Cowboy any more of an advantage to make up all this lost time.
He is going back for that vanilla Big Key chest. He will get the flute.
Now, will Space Cowboy bail out of here as soon as they get it? Because that's just one of those things, though. Will the flute take him away from purple chest?
Yes. I think it will, unfortunately.
A couple rage splashes.
He knows.
Couple bombs.
He knows.
A little high five from our players. That's rough. So Desert Palace Big Key is at Armos Knights.
So we need Lim to head on over to Eastern after this. And assuming if the Pod Big Key is in here, I think that would be the right play, because you can go over and knock both of those places out.
Yeah.
And that would just leave Desert.
I'm sure that's what Liminality's trying to do, so they can knock it out at the same time. Just a big 20.
And everything we're seeing from here on out is brand new to us.
Moment of truth. We still got 4 perfect laser skips coming up here pretty soon. Are you excited? I'm excited.
Woohoo!
Why? Oh,
Small key.
Still woods.
We do not want small keys at this point.
That's like pennies right there. You just throw them away or throw them on the ground. Don't do that. No littering.
If you don't want your pennies, give them the speed gaming.
We'll take them. Oh, all right. 4 more chests in Trinex, but it's weird being in a situation with both players.
If it's on Trinex,
yeah, that's GG right there if it is. I mean, if it's at least in Laser Bridge, then Space Cowboy can at least... Yeah, but that's just going to keep sending him further and further away from Purple Chest.
Yes.
One
All right,
perfect
let's see.
laser skip.
Chest number 1, heart piece.
2 perfect laser skips.
Chest number 2, 3 bombs.
3 perfect.
Chest number 3, another heart piece. What will be in chest number 4?
Small key.
Another small key, Gannon's Tower.
Oh man, if it's not Tridix, I mean it's Pyramid Fairy. Then that's it.
At least the small key to Gannon's Tower is useful. You don't have to kill that enemy to get the last key. And space cannot progress.
What's it gonna be, dude? Moment of truth. Purple chest.
Please go get your purple chest. You know he's gonna activate the flute, though.
He's gonna go straight to
Although,
you know, if he gets the flute, he might think, oh, now I can conveniently turn in purple chest. Because he can just flute it.
At this point, I don't think that's going to be on his mind. Because like you said, my mind would go straight to Mire at this point.
Yeah, but we've been surprised before. Liminality saved that flute for like ever. But who knows?
That is true. Yep.
Decent Trinex fight for Liminality so far. For those unaware, the purple chest is holding the fire rod. Pretty big item. Pretty big deal.
Which leads to the ice rod.
Yeah.
Alright, Trinex, what you got? You got that big key we're looking for?
Is this go mode? You holding go mode for us? It's bombs.
Oh, so Fat Fairy is what we're looking at now.
Wow. This was supposed to be a quick seed. What happened?
What happened is you said it was going to be a quick seed.
Nah, that's not what happened. That's not what I heard.
Well, the seed heard you loud and clear and said, not today.
And here's that Mire check from Space Cowboy.
Where are you going? Spike Cave?
Space Cowboy can't finish this dungeon, so he's not going to save any time.
And it is required, so it's not a bad idea.
So maybe we got Pyramid Fairy, we got Sahasrara, and Shovel.
I keep forgetting about Sahasrara, yes, and Shovel.
So we got 4 spots, so it's one of those 4. And Shovel was inside Misery Mire. Yeah, at this rate, I can't imagine Space Cowboy making any, bringing this back just because of having to triple dip Turtle Rock.
You know what? It's a rando. You just never know. Liminality, where are you going to go? I would think at this point you have to go do Eastern. Well, you hovered on 5, and then you swapped over to 4.
Maybe grabbing that small key that was on Lake Hylia Island, but at this point, that's nothing valuable? That would be my guess at this point. I don't think they mistook one of the Pyramid Fairy crystals. Looks like it. Oh,
nope.
Circle of Bushes? Plus Shovel, maybe? I guess? I don't know. Why else would it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
why else would they go to the Dark World?
I guess South of Grove, and then you'll check with the Shovel. Or, I'm sorry, Cave 45 and Shovel. Let me get the proper terminology.
Circle of Bushes. Actually, it's more of an oval. Actually, it's more of a diamond.
We'll never agree.
There you go!
Oh no, you need that!
Go back.
I'm sad.
Well, here's the thing, though. This is literally gonna be, like, the last or second to last check for Liminality. And it's
small key. Gannon's Tower? Yep.
I think that's all 4 of them. Or no, that's
that is 3. Go to 5. Go to 5. We're going to 5. Going to Saha first, I would assume.
So we got Sahasrara and Pyramid Fairy. Isn't Keysanity fun?
At least there's no Gannon's Tower double dip.
That's true, unfortunately. Big 20. Beautiful.
You know what we could find? We could find the Skull Woods big key and have to go back there. I don't think we've seen that yet.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, well, we know Pod Big Key isn't over here, so Liminality is going to go ahead and finish Eastern Palace, get the Desert Big Key, and then we'll have to go... We'll probably go ahead and go straight back to Desert and complete that.
I would do the same thing, and then that would leave Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, so very last possible check before going into G-Tower. Well, they can't even go into G-Tower. We have seen every single item in Palace of Darkness as far as I know.
I was about to ask you that question.
What's that?
I mean, we know Space got everything other than what was locked by the big... I imagine Liminality did the same thing. I believe so.
Yeah, I think.
Might have left a single chest to stay the key. Maybe.
Mushroom was a compass that we never checked. Because compasses are pretty much useless. Pretty much. Speaking of, here's one now. You gotta be thinking, oh man, I needed the pod big key, not the compass or pod. Terrible.
It'll come soon enough. Now, if you're either of these players, you're, almost 2 hours into the seed. What are you thinking? Are you thinking, oh wow, I must be super behind? Or do you think you're doing well?
I think Liminality's probably feeling all right, except for the fact that it's been literally the last possible spot to check. Space Cowboy's got to be feeling a little bit nervous, missing both of the rods right now. I can't imagine not being nervous about that.
Yes, he's missing both rods and the pod big key that we're still searching for.
And especially with that late flute. Though surprisingly not finding anything of value in Mire, he's got to be like, all right, well, I missed the flute, but it didn't matter that much at all, so who knows? A few extra shots on the Armos Knights, but when you have over 50 arrows, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Picking up that Desert Palace big key.
And now Fat Fairy is open and accessible.
Yeah.
Gotta be there.
It has to. But yeah, for Liminality at this point, it's either a 50-50. 2 chests in Desert or 2 chests in Pyramid Fairy.
I'm assuming you're going to Desert. Yes. What was in Desert Palace big chest? Nothing of use. That's about all I remember.
I think it was like a heart, maybe? I don't know.
And don't forget, if you're enjoying what you're watching, be sure to give these two amazing runners follows. We appreciate the fact they are running in this tournament for us and willing to be broadcast in front of a lot of people. I don't know how many of y'all are out there, but I know there's a bunch.
In front of our live studio audience! And then that's been the laugh track and the applause. Come on. Whoever's putting this up on YouTube, please edit those in. Thank you.
Also, shout-outs to my co-commentator there, Willard J. Bradley. Be sure to give him a follow. And the man behind the scenes, making sure not only y'all, but us, we can see everything, keep track of everything. Draco Falcone, doing all the tracking. Much appreciated. And, of course, this is only the beginning of the tournament. This is round 1 of 5, and then the practice stages. So keep your eyes open on all 4 Speed Gaming channels. For the next 2 months, you'll see plenty of randomizer action, as well as other tournaments that are currently going on. A couple of which just started today.
Yeah. Not only is this the first round of the Keysanity tournament, but this is only day 1. And this is only...
literal day 1. I mean, this is what,
literally
5th match, 6th match, something like that, out of 104 for this week alone?
Yeah, this is match 6 out of, like, well, Do you count one that's at 1 a.m.? Do you count that for today still?
We'll do it. We'll do it.
We'll do it. Just this once.
Yeah. Alright, Space.
Cowboy.
Purple chest. Or shovel, probably.
Probably gonna circle bushes into shovel spot. Now, one of the worst things one of the things you never want to see when you're watching a race or watching players play is when they're sitting on that map screen or that pause screen, because then you're just like thinking, "Oh, they missed something."
Mm-hmm. That is not an easy fight. Even with silver arrows, it might be one-hit kills, but getting that one hit, it's not as easy as some people make it look.
Basically, my logic is if you miss the first silver arrow, just switch to fire rod. Bugnet.
The bugnet, get the aw. You even tricked me. You started walking in. Alright, Liminality, are you going to do a Pyramid Fairy? I believe so.
Space Cowboy also going to be doing Pyramid Fairy right now, too. So this is... It's like they're in sync, but miles apart. Gonna be getting that pod big key, probably. I hope so. If not, I'm going to be very concerned.
It could be a Swamp Palace big key. Or not Swamp, Skullwoods. Wrong S.
For those wondering, Space Cowboy was not intentionally running into an enemy just for laughs. One of the things you could do is if you take damage and dash at the right time, you could actually dash with the bomb from basically a damage boosted dash. So normally if you try and dash with the bomb, you leave it behind and then the timer starts. Very similar to the hook shot and dash thing that you see players use a lot. This is so funny because they're both doing the exact same thing, but only one of them is going to walk out of here with go mode.
We think. Might not be go mode yet. Let's see, what have we got?
Here it is.
There it is. A big key indeed.
Wow.
But that's going to keep Space even farther away from Purple Chest.
Liminality entering go mode at this point. All they have left to do is kill Helmassar King and then head right up to that G Tower. So
and you don't even have to touch most of the G Tower. You can just hit straight.
Yeah, run straight up.
Where are the fire and ice rods? Fire rod is at Purple Chest. Ice rod is at Mothula. So Space, after he finishes off Pod, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
Will he remember?
I mean, he could also be banking on maybe the big chest in here, or Pod has the fire rod or ice rod. But
you gotta wonder, maybe he knows about Purple Chest and he's just gambling and he's sticking with it.
Man, that's a toughie. We'll have to make sure to ask him. But yeah, we can all account or credit how the rest of the seed played out on the fact that it's got to be the fact that he checked that cave instead of doing Purple Chest. Because after Thieves Town, I was like, you can do Purple Chest, save and quit, and then turn that in, and then go to Desert, because they just got in the Desert small key to go check that. But electing to do Powder instead. But who knows? We'll ask. Yeah, overall, this has been a good race. It's been interesting watching all of these locations that we have slowly dwindle down into nothing.
Just from, an hour and 10 minutes in, we were at an item go mode. And then it's taken us 45 more minutes to find the last big key we needed.
And now we could also think about what could have been go moded technically. Mire, Swamp.
Those are the two big ones for sure.
Yeah, Ice had two really good items. Yeah, pretty much those two as far as I know. I'd have to go back and look at all the data if I really wanted to, which I don't. So we'll just stick with that. Yeah, curious to see what Space Cowboy's gonna do after finishing off Helma. Then, and at that point, we'll determine if...
I'm trying to think what he even has available. And outside of Purple Chest, I don't know.
I don't think he has anything.
So will he remember, or will he be sitting on that map screen as we discussed, trying to think of where to go, what he missed?
Well, we'll find out. I don't even really think the seed was all that, like, trolly either. Everything was pretty straightforward. I mean... yeah? Because, like, Ice Palace was available pretty quickly.
Not that bad, but you're still checking a lot of locations. Although, without checking Gannon's tower locations, that will reduce the number drastically.
Not a bad Helmastar fight from Liminality. Grabbing that last crystal. So, this pretty much was all dungeons then.
Wait, last crystal, is this when we start that GT Big Key guessing game?
Normally, yes. But today, no. Since we already have it. Where do you guys think it's... what do you... number 7.
Okay. We'll see.
I could also just imagine that Liminality is probably not even going to check any chest along the way in G-Tower, having silvers and Tempered Sword.
I mean, you could still find butter, you could still find red mail. Maybe check, like, validation or the chest that's right before that, whatever that's called, just because you're walking right by them.
Yeah. I mean, some players, I feel like a lot of players like the gold sword, but for the most part, it's not really that helpful.
Nah, this late in the seed, it's not worth it. If you're prone to taking a lot of damage, red mail is good to have. But I think our players have been doing pretty well in that department, so I don't know if they'll be worried about that.
Right now, I'm just interested to see what Space Cowboy is going to do next.
Yep. Green pendant turn in. Yep. It's like we've read each other's mind.
Gonna get that big 20. Or was it bombs?
Good question.
Big 20. Okay.
It was big 20.
Alright guys, we'll make it up to you. In the swordless tournament, whenever that happens, we'll put Bugnet on the tracker, okay? We good?
Swordless, PogChamp.
All 10 entrants that are going to be in that tournament.
Space, where are you going? Big spot.
Hey, we got some bronze knights. Always looks nice. And Liminality heading into G Tower, so it's just a quick jump off the gauntlet, take out a couple refights, fight Aga 2, and then take down that pig.
Come on, Lim, check tile room for us, will you?
Why would they do that?
For the people, Willard. For the people.
For the people. All right. You know what? When I am eventually at like,
look at space.
When I'm eventually at 2-2 in this tournament, I'll do something wacky for the people.
Is this space remembering?
This has to be. There's nothing else left to do.
Did he remember the entire time and just choose not to do it? No! Bumper cave.
And North of Graveyard, I don't think. Check GT Big Chest. You got it. Yeah, why is it Liminality doing that? Come on. Just a heart container up here, though that could be Sankheart. We'll never know.
Where were the rods? Fire Rod is in the purple chest. Ice Rod is on Mothula.
And it's also worth noting that though it wasn't required, for the most part, it was you kind of had to do purple chest without the mirror. You didn't have to, but at the time of the seed, We didn't have Mire. Where was Mire again? Mire was in Pod. So, and a lot of times people like don't like doing the save and quit to turn in the frog and get the purple chest. It's kind of obnoxious, not gonna lie. And that used to not even be a thing, but now it is.
Go back to 3. Going back to the Dark World.
Liminality heading into the Landmola 2 fight. Silver arrows out. Let's see if this goes a little bit better than prior. Ooh, just barely missing. Ooh, missing again. Slashing wildly. Opting to
Base is going.
Purple chest.
Oh man, what's he going to do when he finds out?
And you know what? Here's the thing. That purple chest could have just been trashed the whole game. And he just got unlucky. And that's just kind of the nature of rando sometimes.
Where are you taking that purple chest?
I don't know. Where are you going with that? Oh, he just wants to set it up so when he flutes back to here, he can immediately go up, because he knows this is the fire rod. Because it can't really be anything. Well, yeah, so it's either... It's going to be the fire rod or it's going to be the Skullwood's big key. So either way, he's going to go back to the Dark World and head right into the Woods of Skull. Ta-da! No, it's not his fault.
I figured he was just going to burn him with the rod.
He's dead now.
At least he found it.
Yeah.
One thing you never want to see is a player that gets completely stuck and can never find the item. And we know he's now making the play. He will get his ice rod, and he will be in go mode.
Yeah. So, I mean, he still has to route all the way back through T-Rock. But overall, you know, after Mafia, he's not going to be all that far behind, but still...
No, because at the end of the day, both Space and Liminality pretty much checked everything.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just that Liminality checked things, or everything, checked 100% things more efficiently. Or slightly faster. Space grabbing a third key, just in case. Oh, and Liminality taking a fall!
Trolldorm!
Alright, I have to do this. Sorry, that was a little weak.
I was wondering where you were going there. Oh, Space checking the pedestal. Nope. We don't need to do that, buddy.
Grab those bombs out of the Moldorm 2 chest, just because reasons. I mean, I guess at least Red Tunic would be nice. Gold Sword maybe if you really are into that.
Go straight. No, I knew he was going to check this chest first. I would do the exact same thing.
I like this play by Space Cowboy checking this chest first, because he knows that Mafia is a pendant, so he didn't. If he could avoid having to fight Mafia, that'd be better.
Yeah, and with Mafia being a pain, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, that lineup.
Looked like a triple. Might have been a double, but either way, this looks like a 3-2-1. 3-2-1? Nope. All right. So 2-2. And then overkill.
Off to Gannon we go.
Alright, I'm excited for some... We've been seeing... I think we had a silverless Tempered Sword Gannon earlier today. Today we'll be having a Tempered Silver with half magic and blue tunic, so I can't imagine this going poorly at all. Not trying to curse anyone.
Gannon with the cheese facts. That was cheesy.
And Malthiel with a quick death for Space Cowboy.
Space now officially in go mode.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be heading up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, especially when you have the cape, just use it. If you have the cape and half magic for this fight, or if you have the cape and like blue potions, green potions, just use it. It makes phase 2 easy.
It is so worth it.
If you have the tools, take advantage of it. Even if, pausing takes a few seconds of time, take advantage.
Did you find the arrows in Light World? As a matter of fact, we did.
Maybe.
Missing the torch glitch.
I believe Liminality, regardless, does have a blue potion anyway, so nothing to worry about. Only getting singles, but might get a double right here. And certainly does, and takes down the big pig.
GG. Liminality.
Once they walk through that door, we will have our first place winner in the tournament. Swiss rounds, Keysanity, Link to the Past, Randomizer, GG's to Liminality, finishing first place at the time of 2:11:03. What a seed.
Indeed. So to answer our question I just saw real quick, how does torch glitch work? Light the torch on the left side before the one on the right goes out from the first cycle. That's the short version. Go ahead.
Yeah. Basically, for whatever reason, because this game is pretty broken, the torch on the right side will always stay lit, so you only have to worry about lighting the one on the left. But it's not really that significant when you have silver arrows, so it's not a big of a deal. But we're gonna see if we can get Liminality in here for an interviewer. But yeah, also just so you guys know, everyone knows, we use IRC to set up the races, so the players do know when each other finishes. That's about the only information that they get. Of course, since it's randomizer and all the places are randomizes, our runners are not permitted to watch each other's streams or watch the restream, obviously. So the only information they can get is when the other player finishes. And then it's up to them if they want to finish the seed or not, and looks like Space Cowboy is going to go ahead and finish. You only have Trinex left to fight, might as well.
Indeed. At this point, it's essentially a go mode Turtle Rock, because we've checked everything, and then Gannon's Tower, you don't have to search for anything. MIRC or whatever works. I use Hex Chat. That's the IRC client that I used. It's pretty convenient. You can also use the one on Speedruns Live. They have like a whole IRC chat functionality. It's not as good as far as I know. I recommend Hex Chat. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, GG's to these runners. This is Keysanity for you. Sometimes you'll get quick seeds, and in Keysanity, a quick seed is like a 145 maybe. Most of the times you'll get something like 215, maybe even 220. I'm gonna go ahead and pull in Liminality. To the 130, and I don't know how people manage to do it.
And welcome, Liminality, to the voice channel. GG's on your win. How you feeling about that, seed?
I don't know. It kind of had me go everywhere, but I did better than I expected for basically doing everything.
Well, let's just say you checked 100% of things faster. If that... No, honestly, it really just came down to A, Space Cowboy not checking that middle chest in T-Rock and missing the flute, going back into T-Rock again, but missing out on the purple chest, so they didn't have Fire Rod or Ice Rod during their second dip, so had to make a triple dip into Turtle Rock. That was the significant difference maker in this seed.
Yeah, admittedly, I almost made that same mistake because it was do I risk this one chest, or do I want to try to find all 4 Turtle Rock keys?
And that's just one of the many risks you have to consider. It's like that and the one in Pod, or the 2 chests in Pod, pretty much. Because you never want to have to like find Go mode elsewhere, and then, oh wait, I'm not in Go mode. I have to find one more key for T-Rock because I wasted it on that one chest. And,
Yep.
It's pretty rare, in my opinion, for that chest to be required, but seen as the fact that you guys went in there prior to actually having the ability to even complete it, it seemed like a good idea at the time to check it anyway.
Yeah, and admittedly, that chest and the graveyard ledge are usually the ones that decide to be mean to me, let's say.
Graveyard Ledge was a small key of some variety. Pod or T-Rock, I'd say.
I think it was Ice Palace.
Oh, Ice? Okay. Either way, it was insignificant, as far as I know. The other things is because of Space Cowboy missing the flute and the fire rod. Oh, G-Tower, okay. They ended up doing a few other extra things, so like they actually went into Swamp Palace without the small key. And got the Eastern Palace big key, which sent them to Eastern Palace, where they got the Desert Palace big key, and so on and so forth. So all these things that kept on like progressing him, but not towards this fire rod. So we'll have to make sure to ask him if he was gambling on Purple Chest not being required, or if it was just something you put in the back of your mind while you're doing other stuff and then forget about it.
Yeah, because that is very easy to do, especially when you don't have Mire by the time that you're picking it or the Dwarf up.
Yeah. Yeah, the save and quit with the blacksmiths, which not necessarily was required because of the Mire and Pod, but at the time was the only way to do it. And if I recall correctly, Space Cowboy, I'll have to ask him about it when he was leaving Thieves Town. He had a Desert Palace small key, and I was like, hey, he could do Purple Chest, save and quit, and then turn that in on his way to Desert. But then the powder in Thieves Town kind of sent him on a different direction. But, yeah, so how do you feel getting a win in your first round for the Swiss rounds?
I've met my goal.
That's good.
So at about an hour and 10 minutes in, you were pretty much in item go mode at that point. You were only missing a couple, I think it was like 2 or 3 big keys. So what were you thinking at that point?
That's around the point that I was... Admittedly, I didn't realize I was at that point until I finished Ice Palace. And at that point, the only reason that tipped me off was after realize, you know how Lake Hylia was a small key. I was trying to figure out, okay, do I need to go for that, or should I go for Bombos after Swamp? And then I realized there's nothing I need that needs a small key. I'm only missing, at the time I thought 2 big keys, then I realized no, 3 big keys, no wait, 4 big keys, but...
Yeah, I think it was at about that point Willard said this was going to be a quick seed. So you can thank Willard for the plus 2 hours.
What'd you think of the whole Moon Pearl in the first chest in Aga Tower? That's a good one, right? Real funny, right?
Considering 2 of the practice seeds I did over the weekend had me need to clear Aga to get into Dark World to begin with, it didn't surprise me.
Yeah. We actually had one earlier today where there was a Moon Pearl on the pyramid, so... These things still happen. I remember back in the first spring tourney of last year where we were still on version 18 standard mode, where I feel like every other seed was Aga required. So it's surprising when you see Aga required, or now Aga Tower required, but not Aga required these days.
Yep.
But... Well, right now, Space Cowboy is just heading into the second torch room in the gauntlet, so not all together too far behind. It was kind of funny, you both were synced up going to Pyramid Fairy to get that pod key, but of course Space Cowboy still hadn't gotten either of the rods, so... One question I do have is why, despite getting the flute as early as you did, you put off the flute forever. Any particular reason why you didn't go to the Mire area to check that out? I mean, there were so many good options.
Yeah, I think it was I just had so many options at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured, you know what, let's get this other stuff for now, because really the only thing I was going to get by going to Mire at the time, I thought, was just the 2 chests and Checkerboard Cave. Actually, not even Checkerboard Cave, because I didn't even have the Mire at the time. And I figured, let's get those troll locations on the way between Village Outcast and Catfish.
Did you guys go to T-Rock before Pod or after Pod?
I went there before Pod.
Nice triple by space.
Yeah, nice. Oh, well, and then in that case, that makes a little bit more sense. I must be getting ahead of myself, thinking that you guys had the Mire Big Key and all that stuff at that point. But, yeah, alright. Fair enough. Yeah, the thing is, for Space Cowboy, missing the flute wasn't that bad. Because flute didn't actually lead into anything other than a crystal. So it was really just the purple chest, fire rod and all that stuff. But, because both you guys ended up checking literally everything. Everything that they could before you guys could. The only difference was that Space Cowboy did check the pod big chest. I think it was a compass for Eastern Palace.
The compasses are so useless.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny, because the pod compass was in Eastern Palace big key. Or big chest. So. Alright, Space Cowboy at the Gannon fight, starting phase 2. Cape out, half magic, taking advantage of using spins.
We never did find Red Mailer Brother Sword. I assume somewhere in GT.
Alright, just one hit away, heading into phase 4. Let's see if we can get some more doubles in here. There's a single. Not getting the torch glitch either, but that's not a big deal. This should be a double right here. Careful.
Playing it safe, doesn't want to get knocked off. Don't blame him.
Yeah. And there he is. GG. GG's to both these runners. We're putting on a great show. And, yeah, despite how long and weird that Keysanity seed was. And, yeah. There it is.
Base finishing with an SRL time of 2:23:17. GG.
Only roughly 12 minutes behind. Which, yeah, triple dip into T-Rock would probably do that. But we'll see if he wants to come in and chit-chat with us real quick. There are other races going on right now on the Speed Gaming Network, I believe. One actually just started, or started not too long ago, over on Speed Gaming. Yeah, I think we have... Yeah, we got one on Speed Gaming 3, and then we got a 4-way race on Speed Gaming 2 right now.
Plenty of 4-way races this week and for the next few weeks as we try and get as many people as we can restreamed on Speed Gaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot of people. Just good.
104 matches.
So people were wondering why there were no daily races today. This is why.
You're gonna have plenty of rando.
So Liminality, with sitting at 1 win, you think you're gonna have to do better for your next race if you want to go 2-0?
Honestly, I'm not sure, because I would say not check as much, but this seed needed me to check everything.
I would suggest next time checking the right stuff first. Think about it.
That would be nice, and also managing to get the water walk with boots would be nice.
Oh, yeah! So if you take damage, you don't get it. That's what was happening.
Ah, okay.
Because you got hit by the bird, and then you ran into a buzz blob the first time. Second time, you got nailed by a crab instantly. So, yeah, you can't... The water walk doesn't work if you take damage. Or... Yeah, much. So, but we welcome Space Cowboy to the chat. GG, bud. That, purple chest.
Everything you mean?
Well... The funny thing is, I guess it's not really funny. The interesting thing is that both you guys checked literally everything. The only one extra thing that you checked, Space Cowboy, was the big chest and pod. So,
also went into pod thinking it was swamp for some reason at one point.
You thought it?
We were wondering about that.
Yeah, we were. So I gotta ask. The first question is: was it a gamble to not check purple chest, or was it a forgotten location?
It was. There's no real good way to route this, and I have other things available, and it's one item versus a handful here and a handful there.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But purple chest, the Keysanity before was a Thieves Town big chest. There's always just one item.
That's all it takes. And I mean, purple chest led to the fire rod, which led straight to the ice rod at Mothula, and then, beating Trinex, because there was nothing actually on the right side in Turtle Rock. So we were worried, because when we saw the flute in that one chest in T-Rock, we were like, oh, that's it. That's huge. But the flute actually didn't matter at that point. And
what's great is I passed it up completely thinking I'm saving my keys. I'm short one small key. I can go to the boss, forgetting I didn't have the big key yet. And then I didn't backtrack, and that bit me in the butt.
Yeah. It's, far often than not in Keysanity, it's like you gotta gamble on some of these single chests. Single key leading to single chests, like in Pod and T-Rock. And most of the time you're safe when you do that, but this was not the case in this one. Other than those, like we saw you go into Swamp Palace without the small key, which we were like, oh, Eastern Palace big key, and then that led to Desert, and we're like, oh, that's great. Now we just need like Land Molas to have the small key for Swamp. Like we needed that to be the intended route, but then it ended up being an Ice Palace. So
yeah, it was like it took forever to even find anything of substance in the first place, and then I finally found something. I was dropping some frustration bombs there on the chests, and it dead ended.
Yeah.
And then I found something else, and everything kept dead ending because the purple chest and Turtle Rock. Yeah, those were kind of the last things I needed. That and Fat Fairy. And
the other interesting thing is both you and Liminality went to Pyramid Fairy at the exact same time, roughly around the same time. But Liminality had already finished T-Rock and had both the rods, so that was their go mode right then and there. So, but overall, other than missing that one item, how did you feel about the seed?
10 out of 10 trash would play again.
Did you like that Moon Pearl spot? It's pretty good, right?
Oh, it was fantastic. I'm like, I can't exactly do Agana, but I got this shiny key earlier. Oh, look, there's the Moon Pearl. Yeah, it's fun when Castle Tower hides something. I checked everything available besides what was in GT pretty much, and locked behind GT. That was...
sounds like Keysanity.
That's a good thing I'm a masochist.
That's the sanity part of Keysanity.
Yeah.
The in insanity is hidden over by the Keysanity. That's the joke. Just in case people don't know that. Well, it was a fun race to watch. Thank you guys, both of you, for putting on a fun show for all of us here, and kicking off the first day of the Keysanity tournament. We got plenty more for you guys, and of course, you will be seeing both these runners again next week or whenever the next round starts of the Swiss rounds. And I don't know when. Maybe it's like Sunday that the next round is determined or something, or it's like, I don't know. I'll have to look at the details. As an admin, I should know this stuff, but
shame, Willard, shame.
Whatever, fight me for it. Grudge match, let's go. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much, everyone, for watching. Draco Falcone for tracking this race. Final Flame for joining me for commentary, and of course to our restreamers and everyone over at the Speed Gaming Network. Shouts to y'all, and of course the viewers. Thank you.
I just want to point out one more thing, Willard. This took me 2:23, and I had the boots less than 15 minutes in.
Keysanity. I don't have to say anything. I just have to say Keysanity again, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, Keysanity," and then they clap. Like, "Oh, okay, all right." But yeah, any final words from Liminality as well?
No, just looking forward to probably losing my next 4 rounds.
There it is. You heard it here first. Well, GG's to everybody out there. We are going to be sending this off. We got some more Keysanity going on, as well as other shenanigans going on Speed Gaming. So make sure to follow Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 2, Speed Gaming 3, Speed Gaming 4, and if you want to stay up to date with all things Keysanity, we got a lot of races, so there's a good chance that we're going to be moving on over to ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2, as well as the Randomania 1 through 4. So if you want to follow those, feel free to. My name's been Willard J. Bradley. And I'll see you next time.
Flame.
Hey! Thanks, guys.